I need more beer. No, but I want more beer.
Hell yeah. Yeah. Perfect.
And crack time. Decent. This week is Sly Fox Brewing Company, the Goat Race Maybach.
Maybach music.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are about to witness the world's #1 wrestling podcast. Let me pod to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Welcome to Let Me Pod to You. I'm Jacob. You can block me on Twitter at WeHateJacob. I'm here with my forever co-host, Demetri. You can find him on Twitter at justDemetri_. Demetri, how was your weekend of wrestling?
You know what? I'd say it's pretty solid. I'm just happy to be here with the camera this week for the first time. I'm seeing my face and it's crazy, bro.
I missed your beautiful face and I missed seeing the progress on that beautiful beard. It's coming in nice.
I wouldn't call it beautiful, but it's progress.
Always putting yourself down. No negative self-talk. Our format here is Demetri's Top of the Mid, a headline, stocks rising, stocks falling. These can be specific wrestlers, storylines, etc. to kick off the conversation. But first, Demetri, who is Top of the Mid?
We've got a return Top of the Mid. She's been Top of the Mid before. I just got to give it up for my girl, Chelsea Green. Congratulations. You have made it to Top of the Mid once again.
To the mountaintop of the mid.
Clap, clap, clap. Hold on one moment. My dogs are barking. We'll edit that in post. Get out. Get out. 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 Jax. Out. Out. That way. Ooh, why is this door open? Come on. Out. 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 Out.
Gonna put in some dealing with dogs music, some dog stuff.
What was that? Oh my god, was that hold music?
Yeah.
That was incredible.
I told you, I'm going to be a menace with this soundboard.
But anyways, shout out to my girl Chelsea Green, man. Love to see her on Top of the Mid. I think I would love to see her get a title eventually, but for now I just wanted to talk about, did you see the report about her Karen gimmick or her talking about it?
I did, a little bit. I didn't read the whole thing, but I saw the clips of it on the Twitter aggregators.
Yep. Essentially, she didn't even come up with the idea, which I thought was cool. Can you hear my dogs?
A little bit, but it's okay.
Okay. Apparently she didn't come up with the idea. She stays winning. She just, apparently somebody told her the idea and she wasn't even going to she didn't have any plans to do this permanently. So she just kind of showed up to the Rumble and was like, all right, if I get knocked out, I'm going to go in on this Karen thing. And she just decides to go full Karen and the rest is history. What a funny way to choose your gimmick and then fully commit. She is fully committed. And she's has one of my favorite gimmicks on the roster just because of how committed she is.
I think that's one of the things with a good gimmick though, is if you are committed to it, people are going to really like it. And compared to other people whose gimmick is just strong, that can only get you so far. Chelsea Green is selling the hell out of this Karen thing, and putting her with Sonya Deville has been such a smart move. I think it works really well for both of them. Get some good TV time.
Yep.
You put a link to the Ringside News article about this, so that will be in the show notes. Speaking of Chelsea Green, did you see the raccoon video?
Yes, the one where she let out a raccoon and then she took a video of her husband doing the same thing.
Yeah, and
that was hilarious.
He was not having it. He was ah! And Chelsea Green was much better at the raccoon release.
Yeah, so. She was smooth as hell.
Yeah. I don't have a link to that one, but another kind of catapult for Chelsea Green into the Top of the Mid is she's also selling Pride t-shirts with 100% of the profits going to the Trevor Project, and there's going to be a link to those from Pro Wrestling Tees in the show notes. So good on you, Chelsea Green.
Hell yeah.
We love you on this podcast. We're very happy. Keep doing what you're doing. And, you mentioned that she should have some gold in her future. She should have had some gold on Monday, but we'll talk about that a little later. What's your headline now?
Oh, so dude, I'm just excited that we got past this Night of Champions, which, we'll talk about, but it was actually better than I thought it would be. It's better than most of the Saudi Arabia shows. Like we were talking before, how I felt like most of them are just glorified house shows. Shit happened there that actually affected things, and it felt bigger than most. So I was happy with that turnout. But anyways, we are finally entering the Money in the Bank season, ladies and gentlemen. And this is one of my favorite times of the year because you always get somebody who wins it, and obviously that person obviously has a straight shot to the top if they do well at it, like unlike Austin Theory. We saw what happened with Austin Theory. That was one of the worst cash-ins I've ever seen. But I'm interested to see who gets the Money in the Bank on both sides. I honestly don't have any sort of inkling as to who it might actually be. I would like to see, obviously, LA Knight. I would like to see Montez. Montez would be amazing. There's so many people I would like to see. I'm just curious to see if they'll do what the people want or if it's going to be another Austin Theory.
Well, so far, I think it's been fairly solid. The first two qualifiers on Monday Night Raw was Ricochet and The Miz. And The Miz heard everyone saying that he can't do wrestling, and he went, fuck y'all. And he downloaded some fucking moves. This man was hitting flying DDTs, and he was doing the business. He lost though, but still, props to The Miz. He made that match really fun. So Ricochet was the first qualifier for the men's Money in the Bank, and then Shinsuke Nakamura defeated Bronson Reed as well on Monday night. So far announced for SmackDown this week, we have I'm blanking, Montez Ford and LA Knight. Yep. And we were talking briefly before we started recording here that I'm not super thrilled that they put two fan favorites against each other this early. I mean, I think both of those guys could realistically be in the Money in the Bank ladder match. I think it does also give us a little bit of an inkling on who wins, on how this Money in the Bank will be used. Because Ricochet is a mid-carder. He's not I would not take him seriously as a world champion.
I would hate if he won.
Similarly, like Shinsuke Nakamura, they're making him look stronger. They're giving him a bigger ring entrance. I think Shinsuke could hold a world title.
Yep.
And actually, specifically, none of these guys can hold a candle to Roman. So, all of this, I'm looking at the World Heavyweight Championship on Raw. But then, LA Knight, maybe, but I think he'd be better holding mid-card gold. Montez Ford, I think he could hold whatever championship. Again, I think so far that's kind of where we're looking is okay, Shinsuke and Montez, they're a little bit more realistic World Heavyweight Champion material, but LA Knight and Ricochet, not as much for me.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Except for LA Knight. I feel like LA Knight has a realistic shot just based on how over he is with the crowd. I think getting mid-card gold would benefit him and would be the logical route to choose. But you never know, The crowd's definitely behind his ass, so it's definitely a possibility. It's like what just happened at Night of Champions. We'll talk about it later. But somebody won gold, and I didn't expect him to win gold. So that was, you never know.
That's fair. I mean, I don't know. I think a good step would be to see how he carries himself with a belt that wouldn't be as much in the spotlight.
Yeah, that would be quite the shove and push for sure, just to go straight to it. So
the other qualifying match that was announced is Zelina Vega versus your girl Lacey Evans, and Lacey Evans is going to get her ass beat.
Lacey's been tweeting about it. Have you seen her on Twitter? Lacey's been tweeting about it.
Yeah, she's salty as fuck. She knows, she already got the email that this match is happening. Lacey, you're taking an L because Zelina has been in a title picture this year. And Lacey Evans hasn't in two.
She's had 3 matches, which is funny. Every time Lacey has a match, if you notice on Twitter, every time she has a match, she like hits Twitter hard, and she's like, you know, promoting like, oh yeah, I got this match. She's like talking shit on her opponent, and I'm sorry, man, I'm here for it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Talk about a bad gimmick. My headline is the AEW Women Division Shakeup. So, Branson and I talked a bit about Double or Nothing and how he was kind of thinking we weren't going to have any belt changes. Well, we had some belt changes, and really just on the women's side. So, first, I'm going to talk about Toni Storm. There had been reports leading into Double or Nothing that Jamie Hayter had a shoulder injury that she was dealing with, that she was struggling with. And the reports coming out of Double or Nothing is that the shoulder injury was going to keep her from being able to keep defending the belt on TV and going forward. So lots of props to Jamie Hayter backstage, apparently, that she did this match. I didn't really like the presentation of it very much because she was getting the shit kicked out of her during her ring entrance by the other outcasts. And it was one of those things where realistically, the referee should be like, okay, well, she just got like beat to hell. This match isn't happening kind of deal. But they wanted to make it more of a Toni Storm gets the belt, then Jamie Hayter drops the belt. So Toni Storm, new women's world champion. That's interesting. She's now a 2-time champion, and she's really leaning into the fact that her first title reign was called an interim, being like, this is my real title reign. Like, it was bullshit before what was done to me, and now it's her kind of reign of terror on the women's division. So we'll see how this goes. I think she's a good champion, but haven't loved her heel work so far. So let's see if she can develop it more as a champion. The biggest news in the AEW women's division is what happened with the TBS championship. Jade Cargill had a pretty good match with Taya Valkyrie. Jade won, went 60-0. Mark Sterling came out and kind of did what I was saying on our Double or Nothing pod. Like, there's no one good enough to beat Jade. We're issuing an open challenge right now. Whoever wants to come out from the back and take a shot. And Chris Statlander's music hits. She's been out since last June or July after tearing the other ACL. So two ACL tears. She's back. And she came in and she put the work on Jade, and she is our new TBS champion. I love Chris Statlander. She is a monster. Like, she put out they put out a shirt for her right after she won the belt that's like, more than a woman, is she a machine, built like a linebacker, and I'm like, all true. And then last night on Dynamite, she had a match with Nyla Rose, which, I mean, they roll out Nyla Rose and they need somebody to look strong, so made sense. And Chris Statlander hit her 550 off the top rope, and it was clean as fuck, my boy. Like, it was so clean. I'm really glad that Stat is back. She's great. She's very over with the crowd as well. So new title reigns starting on the same weekend in AEW.
So I'm typically familiar with most AEW people because I've seen them, you know, along the way here or there, but I've actually never seen Chris Statlander. I have no idea what type of wrestler she is. What's her deal?
She's more of like a powerhouse style wrestler. Like, I'd say she has like a similar kind of moveset to Rhea Ripley, but she can get on the ropes as well. Like, her finisher is a big flip from the top rope.
Gotcha. Dope.
Very got that versatile, promo ability. Strong. What?
She got that promo ability.
That's the only thing. I haven't seen a ton of Chris Statlander because she was coming back from an ACL tear and then she tore her other one, and now she's, you know, just back. The promos that I have seen of her, they're very impassioned, but, you know, it's a lot of the kind of the typical face promo where it's like, I'm tired of the way that you've been treating people kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But she just seems like she's a good lass, and I'm happy she's back. It just makes the TV championship on the women's division on AEW a lot more interesting because it was very much like, all right, Jade has a match and she's not losing. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see some shorter title reigns on this TBS championship and it moves around a little bit more to kind of give more flow in the mid card for the women's division.
Got you. That makes sense.
All right. Demetri, whose stock's going up?
Constantly on the rise. Shout out to my gang, the goddamn Alpha Academy. Thank you! Dude, any segment they're in is pure entertainment. It was great seeing the way that they came out after KO and Sami Zayn had what's their names? The Imperium come out without them mentioning their names, and KO's like, hold on. You can't go out. What you do? That's not what you do. You broke the unwritten rule. We didn't mention her name. That shit is hilarious, man. That actually had me cracking up. First off, that was great. Shout out to KO. But then we had the Alpha Academy come out, and KO's like,
do the thing. Do the thing. Say the thing you say funny. Do the thing.
Which is like how we all feel. Like every time he comes out, I'm like, yo, say it in my mind.
Chad's there with the mic, and he's like, what thing? What are you talking about? What thing? Oh.
Playing into it.
And then they, thank you!
Dude, that little segment right there was gold. They didn't even have to have a match, but that was gold. And we didn't even mention when he came out, that long-ass shoosh.
I was just about to say, it was the longest fucking shoosh.
Shoosh!
It just kept going.
That was amazing. So yeah, I mean, Alpha Academy, I think they're a group that everybody loves at this point. I don't know of anybody who's like, I can't stand the Alpha Academy, because like they're just pure comedy gold. They're entertaining. All of them have some sort of wrestling talent. And we even saw a little bit of Maxine getting a little rough and rowdy.
Hey, she's in the Alpha Academy now. She's got to put on.
That was interesting, because literally last week you were talking about what if Maxine takes some lessons from the Alpha Academy? What if she's taking lessons from the master Chad Gable himself? And here she comes. Here she comes, putting the smackdown on Valhalla. Fuck Valhalla, by the way.
She ran away.
Yep.
But anytime a wrestler runs, I think it's so funny. Because they're all kind of boxy. Like, they're not natural runners. Like, they're not athletes like that. Like, a lot of them played, like, in the men's side, they played football. Like, you don't get a lot of, like, sprinters.
When I think of...
So whenever they run, they do, like, a... It's so funny to me.
Yep. When I think of bad runners, number one person that comes to mind is Braun Strowman doing that dumbass Strowman Express outside the ring. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about Seth Rollins, because anytime he runs down a ramp, man, like he's like all over the place.
Yes, WWE wrestlers running is a strange thing. It always looks so funny. I agree. That's something I've never thought about, but it's true.
I also really like that they made it official, like that Maxine's in the Alpha Academy. Like Chad came out and said it, you know.
It's beautiful.
And then she even gave the two fingers on the thank you as well. So all good stuff. Yeah, that segment, delightful, really delightful. The stock that is also continually on the rise right now, the Bloodline. The fallout is coming tomorrow. At Night of Champions, Jimmy Uso finally had enough, and he super kicked Roman Reigns not once but 2 times. And Roman, he needs to stop turning around. He needs to stop letting people be behind him.
Yep.
Because I don't know what's going to happen on SmackDown tomorrow night, but it's going to be intense. The Bloodline segment's going to be a solid half hour on this 2-hour show.
I hope so.
And it rightfully should be.
Yep.
Do you think the Usos are going to be there? Do you think it's going to be confrontation? Do you think it's going to be just Roman talking his shit? Like, how do you think this is going to go down?
Dude, this is one of those rare moments where I actually have no idea what's going to happen. I'm like so excited for something to happen, but I don't know what the thing is that is going to happen. I hope everybody's there. and I hope we see the Usos. That I'm just like really curious, mostly about Jay and where he lies with all this. Because at first I thought Jay was going to be the one to like go off and do his own thing. And I thought Jay was going to be the one to turn on Roman first. But instead, he's the loyal one at this point, or at least is seeming that way. Maybe he's trying to protect his brother. I don't know. But to see Jimmy act the way Jimmy's acting, man.
Well, this is going to be a callback to the my former favorite wrestling podcast, the Cage Side Seats podcast, when that was going on. One of the big things that they hammered on a lot was long-term storytelling. Mm-hmm. Jimmy Uso used to have a shirt, "Nobody's bitch." And he's sticking with that. As soon as Roman Reigns started saying, "You are my bitch," Jimmy went, I'm nobody's bitch. Never was, never will be. So that's why he's sticking up for himself. It's like we were saying, Jay could take it when it was happening to him. And Jimmy didn't really see it when it was happening to Jay. As soon as it switched over, Jay's going to protect his brother and Jimmy's going to protect himself. And I think the biggest outstanding question here is, where does Solo Sikoa's loyalties lie?
That's how you know this is a good fucking storyline, because I'm over here like, where is Jay's loyalty? And you're like, no. Where is Solo's loyalty? We got so many questions.
Is it with his brothers or is it with his tribal chief?
I would want to say towards his brothers, but like, I really don't know, because he has been so like attached to the hip at Roman, like doing whatever he says, silent, just like strategic, like surgical, just whatever Roman says, it's getting done. I don't know, man.
And it leads me to like, we're talking about Money in the Bank season coming up. Does one of the Usos enter Money in the Bank? Do one of the Usos challenge Roman at Money in the Bank? Is it another Roman and Solo tag team at Money in the Bank?
God damn it, Jacob.
What are we doing? Like, where are we going?
Since this whole thing started, my favorite member of the bloodline is Jay. I love Jay Uso. I just think he's got some swag about him. He's cool as fuck. He wears the crop tops, man. I fuck with that. He's just swaggy, and he's got like this aura about him. And I think he's like world champion material. So I want to see Jay take over from Roman at some point. I would like to see Jay beat Roman, specifically Jay. I like Jimmy too, but Jay is just the fucking man to me. I don't know.
It's one of those, like, if they had a tag team match, like the Usos and Roman and Solo, who gets pinned and who pins who. That really is more of that long-term storytelling.
It's just there's so much they can do, and you know, we all thought it was like, I'm at this point I'm so happy that Cody didn't win it at Mania.
Oh, the people who are online still talking about Cody Rhodes should have won.
Get the fuck out of here!
You're a bozo.
Yeah, absolutely.
You are an absolute fool. Why?
Why end all this?
What good does that do for
no
anybody if Cody has that belt right now?
Other than Cody for one night until everybody turns on him because he was given the belt too quick.
Like, whatever. Anyway, let's keep it rolling. Bloodline tomorrow night. That's what everyone's waiting to watch. The other thing that people are going to be waiting to watch is Asuka, our next Dark Rising.
Yeah, baby.
That came out of nowhere.
Yeah, I was shocked, dude. Like, absolutely shocked. We talked about this before. We like went through the list of all the matches. And we're like, oh yeah, this will win, this will win, this will win. We got to this match and we're like, oh yeah, they're not going to take the belt off Bianca. That's easy win. Not even like thinking twice about it. And here we are. Bianca lost, dude. And you know what? I'm not mad about it. You know me, I'm a big Asuka fan. So I'm happy we get another Asuka run. Asuka's not getting any younger, so I'm happy to see it. But how do you feel about it?
I was really shocked when it happened. I had Iad and Branson over to watch Night of Champions. So we were talking about when Asuka, she did not get a hit on the first mist. We were like, ooh. I remember in the moment I said, has anyone ever done a second mist when they have a mist gimmick? And Ed was like, no, I don't think so. That's not in the misting rules. I think you get one shot
misting
at it.
rules.
But then Asuka broke another mist capsule.
I loved the way she did that too.
Got
that
it
was
on her
dope.
fingers, got put up for the KOD and went doo-loo-loo-loo-loo, and got it in her eyes. And interesting use of the mist technology.
She's dude, Asuka is just so good at what she does. The way the camera work and like her, just the way she like got the mist on her fingers and like, you're like, oh shit, the wheels are turning. And then she gets up and you like immediately, you know, you connect the dots and you're like, I know what's going to happen here. And then it happens. And then it's just like, wow, that was executed so well. Shout out to both of them for doing that so well.
And I think it'll be interesting to see where this goes from here.
Absolutely.
I wouldn't be surprised if we get a rematch for this at either Money in the Bank or SummerSlam. I also think it'll be really interesting to see Bianca's redemption arc on this one again. The last time she lost the belt was at SummerSlam? Not last year, but the year before when Becky came back, and then she won it at WrestleMania.
I think so, because that would be the same night that Bayley came out with Io and Dakota.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So she lost the belt at SummerSlam in that like 7-second handshake thing from Becky, and it was really interesting to see the way she fought her way back to that top spot to get it back at Mania. I believe she won the Rumble.
Yeah, I think so.
So I'm just really interested to see where they go with Bianca from here. Does this lead us closer to this alleged heel turn from Bianca plus the Street Profits?
You got to think maybe.
I think it's interesting to see what will happen next.
Yeah, you got to think we might be inching closer to that. I just think if she's going to continue feuding with Asuka, obviously with this gimmick that Asuka has, she can't really be like a face. She's kind of like a heel that everybody cheers for, though. It's an interesting predicament. But
I guess on top of that, it could be one of those things where the kind of initial heel turn that we get from Bianca is she's like, what has playing by the rules gotten me? It's got me misted in the face and mist in my eyes. You know what? Fuck this. I'm done with this shit. All that happens to me through this whole time is people cheat and they get over on me, and I'm tired of it. If you can't beat them, join them. That could be the initial kind of...
And side tangent here that I wanted to go on, because I love talking about just heels and faces. We've done it a lot recently because it's an interesting topic, and it's something that really can help or hurt somebody's career. I think it would be very interesting and probably a good move, at least at the surface, to try the Bianca heel character. Because one name that comes to mind, that always fucking comes to mind, I feel like with everything we talk about, is John fucking Cena. But like he said, he always wanted to do.
Always talk about John Cena.
Yeah, he said he always wanted to do a heel character, and Vince would just never let it happen. And so he was just stuck as this face character for like years and years and years and years. Wow, it had like no development. And I mean, he was great at what he does, so like part of that didn't matter. But you can't help but wonder like how things would have gone if he would have been a heel putting over some other face at some point. You know?
Yeah.
Like The Rock played a great heel. Stone Cold played a great heel. Hulk Hogan played a great heel. So like we got all these, you know, faces or big faces at one point that, you know, eventually turned heel and were great at it. I just feel like we were robbed of something special when we didn't get that John Cena heel run. Now it's a little too late. So I would like to see, basically what I'm getting at is, you know, I think it would be cool to give Bianca the shot, you know, so we can see, because she's a huge face right now.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think it would be interesting. I mean, especially I think the time to do it is when they don't have the title. So you can kind of do some things and see if it works or if it's not working, and then we need to, you know, move on. Yeah, interesting. It'll be interesting to see. We'll probably get a little bit more of an update on kind of what to expect from that on SmackDown this week as well.
For sure.
This is just a little stock rising to round out the section, but at Double or Nothing, when the Acclaimed came out to challenge the House of Black, oh my days. The absolute bars from Max Caster.
Lyrical.
He had something for everyone, and I have a little bit right here. My favorite part and everyone's favorite part.
Oh, I know what it is.
Getting cucked by a kid named Dominic.
Yeah, buddy.
Like, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
That was so good. I obviously didn't watch it live, but seeing it on Twitter, man, when I first heard that, I was like, mouth like wide open, like, he just said that? That's crazy. Shout out to Dom, man. Shout out to my guy.
Well, but then, like, Rhea did her tweet about being over in two companies, and then, like, Buddy Matthews always in the comments on Rhea's tweets, like,
he gotta
don't
chill.
Forget about me.
Yeah, he gotta chill, man.
Like, bro, like, it's a bad look.
And then he deleted his tweet. Did you see that?
Oh, he deleted it? No, I didn't see
Deleted
that.
it, bro. Oh, he either got some shit or he felt bad about it, but he deleted it.
Oh, man. Rhea sent him a text like, dude, like,
knock that shit off.
You need to calm down.
Yeah.
I mean, the screenshots are there. We have a tweet of it.
In 4K.
And honestly, this was stolen from Ed in the group chat, and it's that, you know, that meme where it's like the angry crying face with the happy mask on top of it. Like that's Buddy Matthews. Like, he's like, why don't I get to be with my woman? And
it's like every time he's like, well, I get to see her at home. I'm not mad.
Yeah, well, you know what? Kayfabe, Dom's laying that pipe. So
Dom.
Also, shout out to Dom. He is his whole thing now that he's doing where he's jumping into her arms,
so good.
She's carrying him around.
It's so good. It's so good. It fits their characters so much, and it's so funny.
Like, it's fully, like, immediately when he did that after Rhea beat Natty in 1 minute and 9 seconds. Yikes for Natty on her birthday.
Oh yeah, that's not ideal.
At the same time, that check cashes all the same. So
that's Saudi Arabia check, baby.
but when Dom jumped into her arms, immediately I was like, oh my god, it's like Kevin Hart.
Yeah, that shit's so funny, man. Shout out to Dom for being the character that turned his ass around from being most hated in a bad way to most hated in a good way.
But also, like, he's having fun with it, and like everyone's having fun with it.
Exactly.
Like on Raw, we had the segment where the Judgment Day came out when Seth Rollins and AJ Styles were having the, you know what? You don't just deserve it. You earned it.
It's a great accent.
That's my AJ Styles impression.
Really good.
I don't like AJ Styles. But Dom, they're like, Dominic could hold this title one day. And Seth and AJ just look at each other and then just laugh.
Hey, could we talk about that, though? Could we talk about that? Because if fucking my boy Dom, can you imagine if Dom won the World Heavyweight Championship, dude? Oh my God, the heat would be insane. What?
That would be one of those, like, Dom wins Money in the Bank, and it's like the new heist of the century.
Yes, dude. Dude, he could really steal some shit. Imagine that. Somebody's having a match at WrestleMania. Out comes Dom, cashing in his Money in the Bank. Steals the World Heavyweight Championship. He's out there hanging with mommy at the bar.
Oh my God. Can you imagine, though, if Rhea still had the women's title?
Power couple.
And Dom has...
That's like what we were talking about last week, where if Becky and Seth did it. But you know what? I think I would like it more if Dom and Rhea did it.
Oh, man. The world's not ready for this. The world's not ready for this. All right, time for some hating.
Oh, yeah.
Stock's going down.
Oh,
What's first?
This is a sad one for me because I was very excited. You know how excited I was about the draft or any draft in general? People just getting selected to places just does something in my mind and it makes me happy. I'm very sad that they're just going to disrespect our fucking draft like this on live television.
2 weeks after it happened.
2 weeks after it happens, and just let people roam, walk around on the show that they don't belong in. Security, can somebody fucking get this guy? He's not supposed to be on the show. Like, seriously. I don't understand how we have a draft, we try to make it a big deal and do all this extra shit, and then like 2 weeks go by and what the fuck?
And go out of our way to lay down the rules of this is what's going to happen after the draft.
Yes, bro. It's awful. Like, and I hate to be like ridiculous about it, but like if you're going to do the draft and you're going to make it a big deal, you can't just like have somebody show up, especially for like, this isn't even like a big reason. Like they just had like a little tag team match. Like what was the point? Like I would understand.
Just to put Seth over. Like that's all it was for.
You could have done that so many other ways. It is just so frustrating. It's just like, how? I don't know, man. I'm at a loss for words. I'm legitimately frustrated about this because I just want the draft to like mean something again. If somebody comes over from SmackDown, I don't want it to be because like they were like, I'm coming over from SmackDown. Adam Pearce, make the call. And it's fucking done. It shouldn't be that easy. And it shouldn't just randomly happen for a random match. It should be a big ass deal. So it feels like, holy shit, so-and-so just appeared on Raw. Instead, it's like, why the fuck is AJ Styles on Raw? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Nope.
I'm tight.
Exactly. I can tell. The only saving grace that we have here is that it, according to various reports from the wrestling ITKs, is that it's Vince doing this.
Is that really a saving thing though? Because that just means that Vince is going to do more Vincing.
Yeah, I mean, I read an article on Fightful that was saying that Vince has not been at any of the tapings, but has been making some changes remotely, but not all of those changes are going through. Like, apparently on some things, Triple H is going, oh shit, my phone was on silent. Sorry, Dad. Like,
my bad, dog.
So
I was in the middle of a Call of Duty match. My bad, dog.
Yeah. So that's like the one thing that I'm like, okay, he's sending them remotely. He's not always there, but it's still like,
leave it alone, Vince. Fuck you. That's what I want to say. That's what I wish Triple H would say.
It just sucks that it's again not for any good reason, but just AJ Styles to be there to put Seth over. When Seth's already over, like he doesn't need put over. He's already got it. So
yeah, and even if you want to put him over, why the fuck's it got to be AJ Styles from SmackDown? We got plenty of people on Raw. We just had a draft. Just do something, man.
But it comes back to my gripe from the beginning with this big gold belt. Like, why is the SmackDown people in contention for this belt that is not on SmackDown?
Fair.
They got drafted there. They're not eligible for it.
Mm-hmm.
You're telling me you didn't draft a roster that can realistically compete for a world title after you did a draft and you created a new title. Is this going to continue? With Money in the Bank, is there going to be rules with that where whoever wins Money in the Bank can only go after the belt that's on their show? I doubt it at this point.
Right.
But
I would imagine they'll be able to choose whatever belt they go after, but man, a random question here, thinking about belts. Where the fuck is the fraudulent US champion? What show is he on again?
SmackDown.
That's a waste of a belt. I'm sorry. I'm just just pops in my head. He's not on our list today because he didn't even make the stocks falling because I think his stocks fell all the way down to the bottom.
He hasn't wrestled since we last recorded.
Yeah.
He had a pre-recorded match with Sheamus. Like,
yep.
Like last night, to be fair, I have been on the beers and someone tweeted thoughts on Theory's title reign.
I saw that.
And the lowest stock we have, absolute crap title reign. Like, it sucks.
Yeah.
I'm like, no one's interested in it. And like I was looking at the replies, and there's some people like one of the
some
best
people
heels
like
in the
it.
business. He's not being used right. I'm like, no, he's fucking not. Like, what are you talking about? He's one of the best heels in the business.
Dom's a better heel right now.
Dom would be a better holder of that belt.
Absolutely.
100%.
That would be so much more fun and believable if Dom held the belt, because he could be a slimy little heel that cheats, and mommy might help him win some matches.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Anyway, the draft was dumb. It was a waste of everybody's time, and
Stupid.
here we are.
Yep.
Speaking of a waste of everybody else's time, next talk falling, Ronda Rousey. And here's my biggest gripe with Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler, and honestly, like, hashtag free Shayna. Like, I don't want to drag her down because I think she can do some good stuff, but like,
Same.
I
agree.
do not like Ronda Rousey. I don't know anybody who likes Ronda Rousey, and giving Ronda Rousey this title makes a belt that's already considered somewhat irrelevant, fully irrelevant, because no one cares. She did not earn this title shot. She did not earn this belt. She's not... It drives me nuts. Because that match was actually a really good match. It was a really good 4-team tag match, which usually I'm not here for. Ronda Rousey did nothing but get the shit kicked out of her and then hit an armbar. Like, come on.
Yep. Nobody wants to see that. Awful. I don't think anybody's happy with Ronda as champion, but your brain has to wonder a little bit. Is this a result of some recent injuries and they had to like pivot and, get somebody in as champion just so they could advance the storyline and maybe get somebody to win the belts at Money in the Bank? Maybe.
I mean, I guess, but at the same time, there's 2 teams that I think there would be no issues with them having this belt. Like, Bayley and Io could have those belts. Bayley hasn't touched gold since she started Damage Control, and that's been like getting into other people's promos at Bayley at this point.
Yeah.
So Bayley needs something. She needs to do something soon. And I don't see her getting the belt off Asuka. I don't see her getting a belt off Rhea. So the tag team is really the thing that she can get. And right now, I would call it more of an opportunity than a detriment with Io Sky being out, Dakota Kai being out for Bayley, because now she's going to be in this tag team more often with Io. So there's a great option right there. Bayley's sensational on the mic.
Yeah.
She could absolutely cut some promos at whoever we need to. Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler are terrible on the mic.
Yeah.
They're awful. Shayna's good in the ring. Ronda's bad at everything.
She's bad at everything except for like being disliked.
Yeah, but she's disliked because she sucks. And then back to our girl Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville.
That's
They have
exactly
been
what
a
I was gonna
consistent
say.
tag team for months. And they're both good. They can both cut a promo. They can both do backstage work. They're both good heels. They'd be able to lean into both of their gimmicks for any time a match was scheduled with them, complaining about it to management. Why do we have to have a match? Well, weren't you trying to get these matches before? That's not relevant. There's so much you can do there.
Yeah, it's
Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, go. I was just going to say, it's just like what you're saying. Those two right there specifically give you, well, actually any of these tag teams, but speaking of them specifically, give you so much more than Ronda and Shayna Baszler. Like, they can make any segment interesting. How are we getting interested in any Ronda Shayna Baszler match? What's going to happen? They're just going to hit somebody backstage, like, and beat them up, break an arm or something like that, come out, win a match in a bad way, and then we're going to be upset about it? Probably. That's the only thing that's going to happen, and I'm just not interested in it.
Yeah, and finally I was going to go to Raquel. I mean, it's so shitty for her that with Liv's injury, that basically she had to drop the belts and was put with Shotzi, who's just a tag team jobber, basically.
Serial tag team.
Yeah, and as soon as she got put with Shotzi, I was like, this sucks, because like she's not going to win it now. Like, I don't know, maybe they're going to pivot Raquel to being Rhea's next challenger, something along those lines. I could see. I mean, she's big and strong. Rhea's big and strong. It would be kind of more of a, they can build Raquel into, I think, a formidable challenge that Rhea would still retain, but, I don't know.
Who knows, man?
Sucks.
It does suck. Sucks. Yep. Big agree.
All right, we're running low on time here, so we're gonna run through these next ones. Demetri, next stock falling.
Yeah, this one's stock.
Was that Simish?
Stock falling. Was that good? Did I save that well?
Yeah, you did. We're gonna have to clip that. That's gonna be our new transition music.
All right, we got a stock falling here. It's unfortunate, man. It's my boy Edge. Everybody loves Edge, but I'm just a little concerned right now. Stock's dipping down a little bit because I haven't really seen him on TV much. We had the little talk about him potentially winning the World Heavyweight Championship. That would have been a really interesting storyline for me as somebody who simps for some nice nostalgia, but we didn't get that, and just haven't seen much of him in any storyline, really. So I'm just kind of curious what's going on with Edge. Is he okay health-wise? Do they just have nothing for him? Are they planning something? Maybe they're planning something for WrestleMania, just trying to keep him fresh. I don't know, but, he's great at promos. He's great at what he does. I'd like to see him on TV more, essentially.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, it's one of those things, like, for the last almost year with AEW, it was like any AEW Dynamite preview that you'd read, at the very end it'd be like, and where the fuck is Miro? Where the fuck is Edge? Where is he? Like, what's he doing? I have seen some fan theories that Edge might be just running down this contract and linking up with Christian for a final Edge and Friends run in AEW.
That'd be fucking nuts.
Round things off. I don't think that's going to happen. I think Edge loves and respects WWE too much to pull that shit. But
same.
It would be interesting, to say the least. I don't know. Where is Edge? I'd like to see more Edge. But, yeah. I don't know.
Moving on.
Chris Jericho, old bitch. My God. Chris Jericho and Adam Cole's unsanctioned match at Double or Nothing was the worst match on the card. It killed the crowd. It was so slow and so, like, they hyped up this whole, Jericho and his friends and Cole and his friend and new friend, the racist Sabu, is here, and they're gonna make things, they're gonna even the odds. And it was just like an all-out brawl at the beginning of the match, and then everybody's friends just went backstage. Until Britt Baker came out and hit Chris Jericho with a kendo stick a few times.
Hell yeah.
And then it was just like some more grapple. Jericho putting the walls of Jericho in, or the Lion Tamer, whichever.
I was about to say, hey, respect the name. It changed in AEW.
Yeah, they did that recently, actually. I think they might have got a cease and desist of some sorts.
Word?
I don't know. They used to call it the Walls of Jericho, and then they just all of a sudden called it the Lion Tamer.
Interesting.
But yeah, like, he did that like twice, and then like it would be the whole thing because it was unsanctioned. Adam Cole would be like, get to the ropes and grab the ropes. The referee would go, "There's no rope breaks. There's no rope breaks. Remember, this is unsanctioned. No rope breaks." It's like, we know. We get know it, there's no rope breaks. Like, it literally got to the point that I was like, just get this over with. Like, please just get this over with. I'm so done with this.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, Chris Jericho, and then his match on Dynamite last night, I thought that sucked, too. It was a mixed tag, Jericho and Saraya versus Cole and Britt Baker. And I think mixed tag matches can be interesting. But this one was not. So, Chris Jericho, you're going down.
Boo.
Anything else, Demetri? Any other hate we need to spread this week?
No hate. No hate. No more hate.
Sensational. And I know we're both just looking forward to the Bloodline on SmackDown this week. So let's see what happens. Everyone will be back next week.
Wait. We got one more thing to say.
What do we got to say?
This isn't on the rundown. This is a special Demetri alert. Everybody's already seen it on Twitter. We just haven't mentioned it in the podcast. CM Punk, man.
Oh, shit. I completely forgot about it. So, okay. It's one of those things where stock falling Jacob. The CM Punk stuff has been talked about so much as like, as soon as Chicago was announced, just everybody assuming that he was back.
It's just official.
It is official. CM Punk is back. And I think it's one of those, like, they announced it for Chicago, but the tickets weren't gone and it's in 2 weeks. And they were like, all right, we're announcing Punker. I'm still shipping this FTR goes and turns heel with CM Punk on Collision. I think that would be fun. Yeah. CM Punk and friends on Saturdays. The Elite will be on Wednesdays, not anywhere near them.
Yeah, for a little bit, I legit thought, just based on all the reports that were coming out a couple weeks ago, I thought that it was a possibility that CM Punk actually wasn't going to come back. But, I think it's great for just wrestling in general, the business that he is back. He's just such a draw, such a big name. Mm-hmm. It's good for AEW. It's good for wrestling. So I'm happy to see him back.
I really hope that at some point they can work out something where we can have a CM Punk and friends versus the Elite in some kind of match, because that's what everyone will want to see eventually if he is back. I also fingers crossed that he stays healthy this time, because he got hurt twice last time around. So yes, CM Punk's back. Stock falling me for not mentioning it. Chris Stat being back was higher on my list this week. CM Punk, be good. All right. Anything else before you cut off my outro again?
Nope. Roll the outro, baby.
Thank you, everyone, for listening. You can follow us on Twitter and TikTok at LetMePodToYa. You can follow Demetri at JustDemetri_, and you can find me if you want at We Hate Jacob. That's hate with an 8. Please give us a review on your chosen podcast platform. We still don't have enough, so I still can't see them. We are on every major network: Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeart, Stitcher, Acast, wherever you get it. Shout out once again to Cage Side Seats for our recaps. Have a great week, everybody.